By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of the series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and on today's show, I'm talking with actor, porn star, and cam girl Lily LaBeau. She tells me all about camming and what she's learned through her work about her body and pleasure and what's actually sexy. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
I never want someone to feel weird or made fun of or anything like that because, we all have our desires and they're all valid.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and I'm here to help you prioritize your pleasure and liberate the conversation around sex. Today, I'm joined by cam girl and star of the YouTube series Cam Girlfriend, Lily LaBeau. Lily's been working in the sex industry for over a decade, and in that time, she's learned a lot about sex and desire and expressing her boundaries. That's a big one. And just being completely shameless about her sexuality. You're really going to love what she has to say about kinks and fetishes and really owning your sexual desires and why she thinks everyone, including you, should try camming at least once. Intentions with Emily. Okay, for each show, let's start off by setting an intention. I do it and I encourage you to do the same. So when you're listening, think about what you want to get out of this episode and how it could help you. It could be, I just want to understand all the hype around camming. Well, my intention is to learn from a woman who has really taken her sexual discovery into her own hands and hoping it'll inspire you to do the same. Sex workers are people just like us, living rich, full lives on and off camera. So I'm super excited for you to hear this conversation. So let's dive in. Lily, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for being here. Before we get into everything, the first thing I want to say, because I have so many questions for you, is just to let people know, I feel like there's been so much in the media lately about webcam, cam girls, especially during the last 6 months of the global pandemic. People are saying, the industry is booming. And I found an article just from like a few months ago that just says it's, gone up by 37% increase. The number of viewers on some channels have doubled. And so I would like you to first, Lily LaBeau, before we get into it, just can you tell me what it actually is? Like, what's the difference between camming? Because I know you're also a porn star. What is the difference between camming and porn?
I started porn in 2009 and camming kind of came with that. You always heard about cam girls as a porn star, but for the most part, the worlds were separate. And the way of making money is so different because with porn, you're an independent contractor, you're getting hired to shoot one day, you get one fee. With camming, it's really like running your own business. You're setting your own schedule. You can set your own rate on a lot of the sites. You really decide what you want to do. Do you want to sell clips? Do you want to just do public shows? Do you want to do private shows? There's really so many different ways to cam where like some girls don't even show their faces. Some people are completely anonymous. Some people are couples. Some people are fetish, are domination, submission. There's just so many different aspects to camming. And I think it's just awesome. And I'm so glad that it's on the rise because I think everybody should try it at least once in their lifetime.
Yeah, I was joking before the show. I was like, I think I want to do it. I'm already on Zoom 12 hours a day. I mean, why not? I'm really good. I know how to sit. I know what to do here. I'm surrounded by sex toys already because I'm always like, here's the Mimi, here's the Nova. But the thing I want to understand then, which platform are you on?
I am exclusive to Chatterbait, partly because of the show and partly because I just love their platform and I've had a really great time working with them. And I've tried a few other sites. And yeah, each one is a little bit different. And I do like the way Chatterbait is set up because it has these apps, it has these little bots that you can automate for you, which is really nice. Some of the other sites, they don't have that. And so for me, I'm not very tech savvy. So it makes it really easy for me to do all kinds of things, a tip goal, or, you know, you can play games, you can do all kinds of stuff. And girls are always making new apps. So they can actually like code new apps. It's awesome.
So the thing about Chatterbait, I actually had a friend who said, have you heard of this Chatterbait? I said, yes, let's check it out. Is it true that the difference between Chatterbait is when you go on there, and anyone can go on, I believe, you don't need to pay anything to go on, but everyone's live.
Oh, everyone's live. Everyone's live.
You every day are directing your own experience for whoever shows up, right?
Or being directed.
You wake up and you log on, you have certain hours. So you might say to your fans, I'm going to be on today from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So they know that. And then do you know what you're going to do beforehand? Do you wait till the requests come in?
It's a lot of preparation. On a porn set, you're showing up and you show up clean and they do everything else. It's really great. But no, I wake up, I shave, every inch of my body and hair, makeup, picking out wardrobe. You get to design everything. And then, you go online and you never know what's going to happen. That's that kind of fun of it, but also can be why people don't like to cam. They say, oh, it was awful. I sat there for 2 hours and I didn't make any money. And sometimes it's like that. But then if you just sit for 30 more minutes or 1 more hour, you could make $300 or $500. You never know. So it's kind of cool like that.
So walk me through a typical day.
Well, so I am not a typical cam girl. There's actually an episode, The Ride, I believe. Basically, okay. Chloe, the main character, is looking for Wi-Fi. And this is a big deal. Because Wi-Fi is king. Wi-Fi rules everything. So technically you can cam anywhere if you have good Wi-Fi. So my typical day, it depends on where I'm at. Sometimes I'm in Switzerland. Sometimes I got back from Portland. Like I travel all over right now. That's another story. But typical day is really just spent preparing, doing the administrative. Sometimes clients want to schedule cam shows. So I might have a scheduled cam show on Chatterbait. And so that's nice because I know I'm going to go on and there's just, someone ready to go right there. But it's not always like that. So there's emails, there's custom videos. Fans can actually tip you for custom videos through Chatterbait, through any of these other sites. And those can be, 1 to 2 minutes, JOI, jerk off instruction, telling someone how to stroke it. Or it can be something more complicated. It can be a complete boy-girl scene, me and another actor. So it's really exciting because you never know. And sometimes it's stressful because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, what happens when it's like, oh God, not this request? Or that's what I'm just curious about because I think we're all learning about it. So is there a common request that comes in? I guess that's what I'm trying to understand for people who might want to come to Chatterbait and check you out. Like what's a common request and then what's off limits?
Well, not much is off limits for me, honestly. I did so much stuff in the porn industry that at this point, I think my fans know that I'm pretty much down for anything, which I love. I love changing it up. I love, I don't want to be bored. A lot of the common things are just mutual masturbation. They watch me. Sometimes I watch them if it's cam to cam. That's an option that they can do. It's not usual. Usually I don't see them. But I can, and I like it when I do. It's very inspiring. And sometimes it can be weird weirder requests. Like,
Right.
no offense to you know who you are, but I have a fan. Love him. He ordered a belly button fetish video, custom video. And I share this one because for me, I was like, oh, this is so silly. It's so cute. It's so like, I don't know. But then as I did the video, it was really interesting because I'm like, that is very sexy and this is kind of fun. And I don't know. Yeah, it really opens your mind to new ideas.
Does it inspire? Do you feel, I mean, I know sometimes it's just, it's a job, but does it inspire you sexually to evolve? And how so?
Oh, sometimes, okay, no, most of the time I am so much more satisfied on cam than I am in my real life right now.
I hear you. This is why I got to do it.
Yeah, as a cam model, you really develop relationships with these screen names. And again, this is another theme in one of the episodes that we shot. Sometimes it feels like the fans know you better than people you might be dating or friends you might know because they're with you for hours at a time. And all they're doing is listening. All they're doing is like absorbing whatever you're saying and they just love you. So there's just this like mutual exchange of love going on. And yeah, it sets the bar pretty high.
Yeah, I hear you. And they're really making you feel good and they're saying you're hot and they tell you what to do. And they're responding to you sexually, which I think so many women crave that response from a partner. We want to be looked at like we are sexy and beautiful and hot and they desire us. And that's what you get all day long. It's like affirmation nuggets from people. I totally get it. Here's another question I have. Have you ever met anybody in person from the site?
No, I have not. I just have never decided to do that. It's not been something that I have a desire to do. Again, being in the porn industry to begin with, I'm very private, very protective of, because I think, again, you give so much on cam. You're literally giving your body and a bit of your soul, really, like, because you do, these relationships are meaningful. I feel like I give so much in so many different aspects of my life that I do like to keep a lot of it private as well.
It's like my career is sort of sex, porn adjacent, and that in the sense of people hear Sex with Emily. I'm not talking about my sex life that often, or people have expectations of you when you meet people, when you're dating, and they make assumptions about what you do for a living, that it means something about who you actually are and what you actually want in the bedroom. That happens.
Right. Oh, God.
Right? I'm sure they do. So what do you think you've learned from camming that has translated into your personal life?
I have learned a lot from camming. I have learned, first of all, just to have an open mind because I am getting so many different requests and people are trusting me with these sort of secret desires, and I feel that it's kind of sacred in a way that they do trust me like this. Even if it seems crazy, it's still sacred though. It's still like they're trusting me with this desire of theirs. So I never want someone to feel weird or shamed or made fun of or anything like that because, we all have our desires and they're all valid and there's nothing wrong with them. And if I don't want something or something doesn't match with, my personal boundaries, I'll say it. But most of the time, it's really fun to make these dreams come true for other people.
Yeah, it really is. I love your attitude about it, Lily, and I'm so glad to hear that you're saying that because that's my same philosophy here is people can call me with literally any question. Everyone wants to know, am I normal? Is this okay? Is it weird? And I'm here just to let everyone know that I will never shame you. I'll never blame you. And it sounds like you have that same, I can tell you, such a warm spirit. You care and you're also in it. Do you feel that when you are performing, did you say that you are getting turned on? I guess you're actually in it. You're not faking an orgasm or maybe you are sometimes.
Well, see, that's the funny thing. I feel like, to be honest, it is way less tiresome if you don't actually have a full orgasm. But it's not necessarily as fun.
No, you want to. Well, I saw the scene where it was so funny. I think it was the first scene you opened up the new We Vibe Nova. I love that. It is a dual stimulation vibrator, aka like a rabbit style vibrator. And I didn't even think they could improve upon it. And then they have the new one, the updated version, and it is just even better for dual stimulation, for external, internal, control it with an app.
That's the one that has like a little claw, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The little
Yes.
rabbit nose.
And it was
Right.
intimidating. Honestly, at first I was like, oh, okay. Well, they know what they're doing. Let me give this a go. And yeah, it just melded to my curves and felt so good. And oh man, yeah, that one's beautiful. The purple one, what is that one called? That's
The touch.
The touch has been my new favorite.
The touch. Oh, this one. The WeVibe Touch it's a great first vibrator. And it's great for partnered sex and for clitoral sex. And it is where like I go on vacation. It always comes with me. It's like the sure thing. Because it's good for any sex. I love that you love it too. See, we're so alike here. But I kind of want your job or want to work alongside you. I think cam girling is fascinating. I have so many more questions for you, Lily LaBeau. Do you want to hang out? We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with more Sex with Emily. What I love about talking to you is that you have such a spirit to you and an open heart about people calling in and being so vulnerable. And I'm wondering, like, how are you that way? Did you work on yourself?
Thank you so much for recognizing that and acknowledging it. And yeah, I realized recently that I appear very calm to people, very put together, which is like so great, but it's not at all like that inside, it's been tough. Being in the sex industry is not easy, and I'm a very sensitive person, and I realize now that it probably was not the smartest job to go into, but it taught me everything I needed in this lifetime to evolve. And I'm so thankful because, learning to vocalize your needs, vocalize your desires, how to say no, how to set a price, how to run your own business, even sexually, how to be open with things that I maybe wouldn't have been open with had I not gone this route into the sex industry. And a lot of therapy, a lot of healing, a lot of soul searching, a lot of dark moments, so many dark moments. And I need to just say that a little more. We all have those really dark moments, and if somebody's feeling that, it's normal because it is hard to do this job a lot of times, and it feels like you're ostracized and you just think the world's changed, and then you'll have an interaction that's like, oh, okay, maybe we still got a ways to go, so it's a lot, but it pushes you to get stronger and to work on yourself and to heal those traumas.
Heal those traumas. You're right. I mean, it's like the human condition is suffering, to quote the Buddha. I mean, that's really it. So I think when you can really shed some light on that we all suffer in some way. And the fact that you're able to provide healing to yourself and others through being open sexually and allowing others to be vulnerable and show up on your platform, I think is a really helpful tool for many. Thank you for doing that. I'm wondering, Lily LaBeau, tell me what you said. You started young, right? You started at 19,
and now 18.
18.
Yeah.
So 18, and you've been in the industry then for 10 years, 11 years. Is that? I don't know how old you are. Do you not say your age?
Oh no, I'm 29.
Okay. So I thought. So you've been in it for a while. So how did you get comfortable with being sexual on camera and your body and all the things that a lot of women, especially starting at age 18, struggle with well through their adulthood? How did you get there? I guess you were kind of thrown in, but.
So I was thrown in. That is so correct. I think it was the best for me. I was always very open sexually. I was always curious about sex. I wasn't very wild in my own life, but I was very curious, and I just jumped right in. I don't know, actually. I just got off on a tangent. I'm like, wow, it's been a journey.
I'm just curious about, I don't know, I guess a lot of what we talk about in this show is that sex is a journey, right? And I think that a lot of us had terrible sex education. Maybe we were shamed for masturbating. We were told not to have sex, maybe not until we're married, but then we get married and we have no idea what we're doing. And then we're constantly on this journey. And I'm telling you, I have people calling in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, who are still struggling with asking for what they want, feeling like a sexual person, giving themselves permission to be sexual in the bedroom. And so I guess it's those kind of things where, and I think you're always peeling back the layers. I'm always learning still as well. And I've been doing this for 15 years. So for you, anything like that you learned along the way?
I think what I just loved about being in porn and being in the sex industry was just the celebration of sex. And that stuck with me from the beginning. It was always a celebration. If you are doing something super kinky, super crazy, we always celebrated those things, those stories. Girls would come back from kink and they'd, had the most crazy BDSM experience of their life, and they're covered in bruises. And, some people would look and go, oh my God, but this was a desire of theirs. It was consensual. It was with excitement and joy and pleasure. And so, of course, we come back and we say, tell me more. How was it? And I think that is what I'm so thankful to have taken from this is there was no taboo. There was no really shame around anything. It's hard sometimes for me to relate because I've been in it for so long. Sometimes I don't know how to be in the normal world because, in porn world, you talk about everything. You talk about herpes, you talk about, yeast infections, it's like all this stuff people are scared to even say. It's like, this is our, we're talking about it all. Triple anal, it's not all gross. Some of it's great, but we're talking about it all, nothing is sacred in that sense.
Yeah. No, I understand. I forget that too sometimes when I go out in the world. I'm like, oh yeah, people don't know this stuff. People don't talk about their sex life specifically, and when they do, they don't often hear it in a way that is just so open and curious and calm. And that's my vision for the world. Is that we walk around talking about sex like we're talking about a delicious meal we had or where we're going to go for dinner, all of that. So I think that it's really interesting right now, just the industry and how it's changing and stuff. I think that there's a lot of people who are maybe getting into the industry of cam girling or porn and all the different sites you can go to. I mean, what would you recommend if somebody is looking to get into this?
People have asked me, and I will say the same thing every time. Do your own stuff first and do what you love. There's somebody out there who wants to see you doing the thing that makes you so horny and so happy and so excited, whether it's cosplay or a specific fetish or just masturbating or just sucking dick. It's like whatever you love and you're like, this makes me feel so sexy. Like, do it because there's a million other people that want to see that, and that's the thing. There's a market for everything.
It is absolutely true. And I love that you're saying that. And you know what I love about this too is that I think, and I'm going to talk about women for a minute, and I'm not saying this isn't for some men, but what I find for women is that at least the way I was raised, my understanding of the culture around sex was that it was mostly about doing something that looked good to my male partner, something that he wanted. That's what would matter. And I think that's part of the messaging, but also I had no idea what I wanted. I didn't know what felt good. I didn't really explore or experiment and think about it until it became my job to understand sex. Now I know, and I want everyone, if you're listening to this and you're in a relationship, the sexiest thing is a woman who truly is in her body, who understands what actually makes her feel good, not what looks good to a partner. Like I think sometimes in porn, there's certain maybe moves or actions that it's for a male gaze. This is what looks good to a man. I understand all of that, but a genuine experience where you're essentially your own director on your camgirl site, you're doing what you want. And that is what is hot. And so in a relationship, I'm telling you, masturbate, figure it out on your own. But when do you feel your sexiest? And only you are going to know that. And when you bring that to a partner, I believe that the energy of the feminine is the sexiest thing, the most attractive thing when you're authentically yourself.
Yes. And as I was saying with people, they should cam, give it a go, put a mask on, to see what's out there. I mean, it's good about vocalizing. I mean, you talked about this. I heard you saying some words about communication and being able to communicate yes and no and have a negotiation is you can use that anywhere in your life. You can use it in the bedroom. You can use it in relationships. It's just a really good skill to have.
Can you explain to me the negotiation? Yeah, it's almost like setting boundaries. Like someone might say, one of your fans might say, give me an example perhaps of a negotiation you've had to have with a client.
It could be anything. Yeah, it could be something as simple as anal. Maybe today, fans asking for anal. And I'm like, well, I'm not comfortable putting anything in, but if you want, I have a butt plug and I wouldn't mind inserting it and leaving it there. Maybe I'm not prepared for it that day, or I just don't want to, and that's okay too. It's okay to not want to do something one day, even if you wanted to do it the other day, and respecting your own body and your own desires of the day. Because that's another thing too, is like, I have such an intimate relationship with my vagina, with my pussy. I was like, with my pussy. Because she knows what she wants. She knows what she likes. She tells me, what turns her on. And so we're always having a communication, like, does it feel good? Does it make me hot? Do I feel that energy there? And if I do, then hell yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try it. And
I want every woman to have that kind of relationship with their vagina and vulva, because it's there and it's yours. But I find that a lot of women are sort of cut off from it. They don't want to look. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to know that it just sort of exists outside of them. And what you're talking about is the most beautiful connection, that it is yours. It is the power source. It's life force. Get to know her.
Yes.
She is speaking to you. I absolutely feel that. That was a practice for me to learn. But I was wondering how you learned that as well. It's just, I don't hear that from many women.
Yeah, that's actually a new thing. I just completed last February, right before COVID, a 9-month yoga doula training. And it was really interesting because a doula is basically, it's a woman's companion. That's how it started. And we really started going into what is the feminine? What is this divine feminine, this life-giving energy? That is where we are centered. Like, our sexual centers are so powerful. They give life, and we can use that not just to have babies, but to birth a project like Cam Girlfriend, or to make a piece of art, or organize your house, whatever it is. It's like we have this huge gift and this massive energy source right between our legs, and we are just not taught how to honor it, how to clear it when it gets full of gunk that's not ours, full of shame and stigmas. That's not ours. That's not us. There's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with sexuality. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. And we need to shout that from the mountaintops.
Every day, all day. That's it. That is the way to get to your true self, because your sexuality is a big part of who we are as women. But when we don't feel good about it and we feel shame around sex and we don't feel that we are in our own power, it's really hard to not only a fulfilling sex life and a healthy sex life, but a fulfilling life, because it's not a part of us that we can just cut off. But we do.
But we do.
Yeah, we do. I love that you're doing this kind of training too. That sounds really, really powerful. What makes a successful cam girl?
Well, what do you define success as? I think a successful cam girl is financially feeling comfortable, whatever that means to her, feeling, taken care of, and also able to not go into burnout. So for me, you want to make the most money while respecting your body and desire and own pleasures at the same time. That's what I find is success. What do you think is success?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Okay, so in my life, I've had to learn that, and I'm still working on that, what success is. And what I've realized is that time is our greatest resource for all of us. And if I don't have enough time, if I'm prioritizing the wrong things, like let's say doing more appearances or making more money or doing another project, for what end? If I'm burnt out, if I'm exhausted, if I'm actually not even enjoying my own pleasure, my own friends, my own life. So for me, it's more of that. When I'm still doing what I love, which is this, talking to everybody here and teaching people, but not at the expense of a well-balanced life where I'm healthy and working out and seeing friends and all those things. But I've traced all different kinds of things in my life. And now when I try to ground into what's important, it is more balanced. But now let's talk about, I'm just curious, like, what is the highest paid people make, performers?
Yeah.
We have to go that way for a moment.
I've heard. Yeah, of course. I love talking about money. I think money also has a lot of shame around it. I know I personally have a lot of shame around money. And yeah, screw that. So let's talk about it. I kind of broke down a few of these things, but some of these girls are making 30, 40, 50, or 60,000 plus a month on one site. Like, Like, it is insane, the potential for money. And that's one site. So now they have these great content uploading tools where you can upload your video to this one platform and it will disperse it to 13 other platforms for you. So you can just hit them all at once. And it's just amazing how things are progressing technology wise. And yeah, they're making it really good for the performer to be in charge of their own money. So the money is
and they're treated
insane.
You're treated well, right? It's insane. So these companies, like you work with Chatterbait, I know they're great to work with. I guess what gets someone a larger audience? Are there certain things that you've heard that cam girls do to get a bigger audience, or is it really just like anything, like a viral video? It's just someone really being themselves.
Yeah, and there's so many. I mean, these girls are so creative. Sometimes I just feel like, oh, I'm not worthy, to be talking about this. Like, they impress me so much. They're creative. So there's, viral videos. There's working with other girls, cross collaborating, just being consistent. People forget how consistency, going on the same time every day, uploading the same time. People like consistency. That makes them feel good, So the girls that can do that, they are, I'm not one of those girls. That's kind of what I'm trying to hit right now. I am
Time management is hard.
Yes, I'm getting help.
Yeah, I know. That's what it's all about. It's all about, we talk about being a business person, an entrepreneur. Eventually you get to a point where you get to realize what you're really good at, what your strengths are, and then letting yourself go, being kind to yourself, and then bringing in people who can support you in ways that you can't, so you can be the best version of yourself. But it takes a while, right? In a business when you have to keep doing all the things. So maybe, we're going to take a quick break if you want to hang out. All right. More Sex with Emily after this break. And thank you everybody for supporting our sponsors who help keep this show free. There has been a lot more talk lately about cam sites. The traffic's been up and people are more interested in it. We can do it from home. And so I'm curious about the different sites. We talked about Chatterbait, where all I know is that it's live. But tell me about the other sites.
Chatterbait is, a cam site. So Chatterbait's set up a little bit differently. It's a token-based site. So everything is through these tokens. The other sites are different. The other sites are more subscription-based websites where you can also sell clips. You can also do pay-per-view messages. You can also do live video. People can tip you. There's fundraising. There's so many different options. And I wrote them all down, and I was going to break them all down for you. So I'm on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is the most popular right now because of all the celebrities rapping about it. It's pretty great. They take 20%, which is pretty good. And it's 20% across board. So that's nice because some of them, it might vary. AVN Stars, same kind of idea, 20%. ManyVids is more of a clips site. They take 40%. So they're a bit higher, but they will give you 20% for your crush club because they're trying to compete with the OnlyFans and with these other sites. It's really fun. They're all actually competing together right now. So everybody's trying to get the best
deals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can be on all of them, right? Or you can only be on one of the paid sites. Or you can be on all of them.
You can be on all of them. So then there's I Want Clips. They take 40%. Is My Girl. So you can do like lilylabeau.ismygirl.com. They're pretty good. They take 20%. AP Clips is another one. Yeah, so there's so many different options. But then now there's this great thing called Monetize. You upload one clip to this site, and then it will distribute it to all of the different sites that you're signed up for. And it makes it so easy. And it'll tell you like keywords you can't use. It makes it so simple.
I love that they're making this, more efficient, I think, too. So I think however we make it easier is great. I have a question, though. I think a lot of people are thinking this, like, what are some of the, people always say to me, what's the craziest question you ever get asked? People ask me it all the time. I'm like, I don't know. Nothing's crazy. Everyone's just calling in and it's all my life and I don't judge and everything's just a question. But for you, what are some of the questions that you got that stick out in your mind from some of your fans who have logged on?
Oh, I don't actually know. I don't know how to say what is wild because in my mind it's all.
Well, not even wild. What's like another Tuesday? So what would come in today? For example, they say take off your top, touch your clitoris, put a finger inside of you, throw your underwear in a circle and twist it around like a pizza. Like, I don't know. Do they say? Go order a pizza and eat one while you're masturbating.
Yes.
Go put on a red shirt. All the things.
Yeah,
Okay,
kind of. All the things. And like, I even have like a list behind me right now. I was like, maybe I should get the list of custom video orders that I have on the table.
And what's some custom video orders?
Well, one of them that's really interesting, which actually turned out to be super hot, was this guy bought me a pair of boxing gloves, and he just ordered a custom video where I just sensually touched my body and masturbated with these boxing gloves. And it was actually really hot because they're kind of squishy and soft. And it was funny at first, but the more I started doing it, I was like, oh, wow, these are great.
They feel good. This is good. How did you get your leverage with a boxing glove between your legs? We'll have to watch the video. Yeah. Okay, real quick, I have just something I want to ask you that I think you can help us with. You can help me with. Okay, let me be honest. I'm asking for myself. Okay. Tips for having really good video sex, Zoom sex, FaceTime sex. What are the things that if you're going to do it, know this? A lot of us are doing it these days.
Lighting is so important. Even if you want it to be moody lighting is still lighting, you know? Like moody lighting, it doesn't have to be all on display. But moody lighting is very sexy. Keeping a little bit mysterious is very nice. Also, don't really worry about the makeup so much. I just like the eyes. It's just the eyes and the lips. You throw a little shit on there. It's nothing. You don't need much. And just enjoy it. I mean, I go into porn mode, so I know like the angles, like, you know, you want to be at a bit of an angle so you can see your ass and see your face at the same time, and you want to point your toes and kind of these things like that I do for my scenes. They are like second nature now, but they look really nice and they're very
Pointing
sexy,
your toes is one of them. That's true.
Yeah.
Pointing your toes, cheating to the camera. What's another one for like just leaning back or we'll watch you?
I mean, just stretching your body as well. I think, you know, owning that space, taking that space, and not being afraid to show your body, whatever it's showing up in this moment. Like, it's beautiful. This body is awesome, and you should show it off and be proud of it, and that's sexy.
You're absolutely right. When you own your body, and you can even practice when you're alone. If you're not as comfortable, looking in the mirror and stretching, and like, when do you feel like the most in your body? Dance, move. We're all taking notes here. I'm going to ask you really quickly the 5 questions we ask all of our guests. They're quickie questions. Okay, Lily LaBeau?
Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Ready? Okay. Biggest turn on.
Biggest turn on. Skin to skin.
Biggest turn off.
Bad hygiene.
What makes good sex?
Authenticity.
Something you would tell your younger self about sex and relationships.
Oh. Oh, no. She's good. Okay. We had to go through a bunch of shit to learn. She's got to go through it. Just don't scare her right now.
What's another one thing you wish everyone knew about sex?
That it's wonderful, that it's fun, and that we all should be having it in whatever way we want to have it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Lily LaBeau. Check out her YouTube special, Cam Girlfriend. Lily LaBeau on Twitter and Instagram. Brand LaBeau is her website. All right, that's it for today's episode. I'll see you on Tuesday. Be sure to like, subscribe, give us a review. You know, reviews help us. And also, if this show helped you in any way, you learned something, right now, just send it to a partner, a friend, a lover. We all need to learn, right? We're all in this together. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sex with Emily. Oh, and sign up for my newsletter. People tell me I give really good newsletter. Sign up at sexwithemily.com. And while you're there, we've got so many great blogs. If you'd like to talk to me about your sex life, dating, relationships, just message me on Instagram or call in to my SiriusXM show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. You can call me there, 888-947-8277. Get a free 30-day trial at sexwithemily.com/SXM. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.